his character.
Okay.
I think
Towards Christian character, true Christian character.
True Christian character.
Praise God.
That way you don't have to get your tongue twisted.
That's right. Yes. Okay. All right. I think we can now take a short music break, and when we come back, we will continue from where we left off, and we will ask our viewers to please stay tuned and don't go away. We'll be back with you very soon. We'll take a short music break now. Good evening once again, and welcome back to Talk on Christianity. We were on a short music break, and we want to continue from where we left off. We are looking at church organizations, church groups, youth groups in the church, and one unique youth group in the church is the Boys Brigade. Boys Brigade, or if you like, Boys and Girls Brigade in the life of the church. What significance it has and what roles does it play in the upbringing and coaching of the boys and girls, young boys and girls in the church. We want to just look at 2 points before we move on, and that is the early days of Boys Brigade in the Gambia, and also to talk about who can become a member of the Boys Brigade. Who can become a member of the Boys Brigade is general, but then we'll ask Sir William, Brother William Wright, to tell us a little bit on the early days, the activities of the early days of Boys Brigade in the Gambia?
Thank you very much, Reverend. Sorry, guys, I think I own that because you were not around in those, in those days.
Yes.
My memory goes back because during the break I asked Reverend Shaka, that is, do you know what a bob is? You know, do you know what a bob is? And he knows what bob a job is, but I think he's scratching his head now. In those days, 25 butut used to be 1 shilling. And 1 shilling converted to the street language as bob. You say, give me 1 bob, or 2 bob, meaning 2 shilling, or 4 bob, meaning 4 shilling. And in the early days, we used to have this activity called bobby job. What it was you were given a card, and on the bobby job day, you would go around to a home and you would produce your card and say, I am a member of the Boys Brigade and I have come to do bob a job, which meant that give me any job and pay me a bob.
Bob, yeah.
It used to be fun.
Yeah.
You know, I doubt whether today you can actually ask any of the boys to go around and ask for a bob for a job. But they used to give us, I remember, go and wash the basins, you know, go clean the toilet, you know. And it goes back to what Captain Jackson was saying earlier, that if you had not cultivated in you obedience, respect for elders, reverence, it would be difficult for you to go into somebody's compound and clean their toilet for 25 butut. This is the way that we were formed. Sponsored work today, you see people come with sponsored work paper.
Yeah.
They will just come and say, I want you to sponsor me on sponsored work. And you don't see them working. In those days, you were sponsored for every mile that you walked. So you would come around, uncle, I want you to sponsor me. Next week, we are going on a sponsored walk. It was clean. Because the reason why I say that is when you go and your uncle signs, he says, I'll sponsor you 3 pence for every kilometer or every mile that you walk. You had this card with all this information. And then you would go on the walk on the designated day. When you return from the walk, the amount of miles that you walk, you are given a certificate to show that you have walked 6 miles, 7 miles. You then take that certificate to the person that sponsored you, and you show him that certificate. If you are sponsored a bob per mile, and you did 8 miles, that's 8 bob.
Yeah.
This is the early days of the Boys Brigade, I can recall. And then my earliest experience of Boys Brigade camp, I can never wipe out from my mind. It was the first time I left home, most of us.
Okay.
It gave us the opportunity to go and live outside of Banjul. My memory is Yundum College. It gave us the opportunity to live outside of our own immediate family.
Okay.
Somebody you meet in the street and you would just say, good afternoon, or elder brother. When you went to camp, you had the word sir added onto it. Okay. Reverend Gabby Allen, sir. Reverend, now Bishop Tilewa Johnson, sir. What I'm trying to bring here is the Boys Brigade has got in it that ability to nurture virtues in you that if you grasp it, it goes with you through life. And just before I end, I will always go back